Mama's the best. Moving on.
Ever since you played Fortnite, you've become so competitive, Josh.
It's because I keep winning at Fortnite.
I kick the shit out of these kids.
Man,
I'm not even joking.
That is going to be an interesting conversation. I'm pretty keen for it, to be honest.
Eli asked me afterwards, he's like, Dad, what register are you going to get put on? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you said, you said, you were screaming, put me on the register because I'm effing these kids.
Yeah.
He's like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
I didn't think he would remember that.
Kids are sponges for information. They will remember everything you say and repeat it in their adulthood.
And that is a beautiful quote, Josh, right there.
Oh, shoot. All right, well. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Neon City Daily Podcast. I'm Jamie.
I'm Nick.
I'm Josh.
And I'm still Dave.
How you going, guys?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad.
It's been a while since we last did a podcast. A week.
Sitting under the aircon, just chilling.
I wish I had an aircon on. It's warm in here, and in the interest of preserving the sound quality of the audio, I have an ice pack down my shirt.
Hey, that's
Wow. Nice. Yeah, that's ingenuity.
melting over your manly nipples.
Yeah.
That's
You're
right.
the MacGyver of nut sweat.
You got that? Yeah, put a paper clip in there. Fix
You
everything.
could build a bomb out of that.
Sweating like a gypsy with a mortgage.
Just don't do what Colonel thing I did and like when you cut off your mullet, don't get fat and old.
Oh, Colonel thing. Right.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
You mean Jack
I
O'Neill?
forgot. That's the one.
Oh, right.
That's the one.
This is a
'Cause
strange metaphor.
I was just like, what the fuck was his name? It's gone.
Richard Dean Anderson.
Yes, there gets to a
Yeah.
point where you have to go, you know what? I have quite a lot of notoriety, quite a lot of money. I'm going to eat all the chocolate eclairs I want.
Oh, no, I fully get the logic. Yeah, no, I get it.
He was like an honorary captain or something in the Air Force because of the continued positive portrayal of Air Force in Stargate.
Yeah, it's pretty. When you think about it, though, sending the Air Force to go to different planets is a little bit of an overreach. I get that they're in the sky most of the time, but that doesn't mean that they should leave the atmosphere.
Well, see, the thing is, though, it would have been weirder if they went the route that everyone else goes, because everyone else, when they go to space, considers it the Navy.
Yeah, that's weird too.
So
I feel
That's
like
because there's crossover between spaceships
yeah,
and
because there's like
warships.
spaceships and warships and yeah,
Got
boats
the
and
word
stuff.
ship in the
But
title.
how many times did Jack O'Neill be all like, "Don't worry, guys, I can fly this Goa'uld aircraft"? He never did. He was always just kind of like wandering around on foot, shooting his little gun. Daniel Jackson was there going like, "I don't know about this, Jack," and Teal'c was being stoic. Sam was all like, "I don't know about this, Jack," and he was like, "Come on," and that was Stargate.
Basically, yeah. In a nutshell,
I love that show so much, but I genuinely hate how much that nailed the feel of most episodes.
I also love that show. That's how I'm able to give such an accurate
Jeez.
rendition of it.
Yeah, no, I can tell you paid attention to it.
It was one of my original sci-fi loves. Put it that way.
Yeah, no, I watched so much of that.
I liked Universe. I don't know that a lot of people did. That
I
could
did
be
too,
controversial.
actually.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I enjoyed that too. Because it was like, it did this weird thing where like Universe came out at a point where I had watched Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so had
And
Universe, clearly.
You were
Yeah.
ready for grown-up sci-fi.
Well, that's the thing. Like, yeah, you kind of like you'd watch Battlestar Galactica, and that was I loved Battlestar. I felt the ending was a cop out, but like I
liked it.
Battlestar Galactica is, I'm going to go on the record and say it's the best sci-fi TV show of all time.
Anyway,
I can't argue with it because I can't specifically think of anything. But all right, we'll just keep moving. But
I haven't watched enough to have an opinion.
yeah, but no. So I'd watched Battlestar, and then when I watched Universe, I was like, this just feels like Battlestar Galactica with a different kind of skin. But I'm watching it was different enough for me to just really be into it and really enjoy
Yeah.
the feel. So
It was
yeah.
interesting because I watched Universe before I watched Battlestar Galactica, and I knew that people were making the comparison that this is just a Battlestar Galactica ripoff. And going back and then watching Battlestar Galactica, I completely agree with them, but it wasn't a bad ripoff. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that the saddest part about it was that the show kind of got 2 seasons, and then they all went in
Yeah.
cryostasis, and that was it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty sure it was only 2.
What a jip!
They keep threatening to bring back Stargate in some
Mm,
form or another, but they never
Nah.
follow through.
I'm kind of glad if they don't.
Leave it alone.
Yeah, I think we're just fine. Like we had SG-1, we had Universe, we had Atlantis.
hmm
Isn't it weird to think Aquaman was in Atlantis?
It's pretty funny, but yeah,
It's like, that's where he got his jump.
yeah, that's
in
where he got the
acting.
feel.
That's called foreshadowing.
Yeah, that's where he was like, this is. I like these words, this conjunction
Yeah.
of words.
He was
But-
he was like a shiploads Teal'c.
He was. He absolutely. You're completely right. He
Yeah.
was the chicken feed Teal'c.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so for
yeah.
anyone that doesn't know, shiploads is like a budget.
It's like a
budget.
dollar store.
It's a bargain store, yeah.
He was the reject shop Teal'c.
Yeah, so he.
He was a poor man's Teal'c.
He was the Joker's warehouse Teal'c.
Oh, wow! I haven't thought about that in a long time. That's dead now, sure.
Yeah, it's got to be.
It has to be.
I haven't
Joker's
seen or
warehouse.
heard of it in a long time.
Speaking of spaceships, though, I mentioned, I think, to someone, one of you, I've been going through the Alien series. Having only ever watched
yeah.
the
Yeah, you
first
mentioned
one, long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm on Disney Plus now, and I was just perusing, and so I think Disney now have Star.
Oh, yeah, because they own.
Fox, yeah, they got Fox.
Yeah, so
yeah, they got Fox. They own
there's
Fox
a
now,
lot
yeah.
on there. Like Disney Plus when it first came out was not worth the money they were asking, just because it was the Disney
Right.
library only.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, they've expanded now, and I think the adult content gets pushed to, like, they call it like a sub channel called Star or Stars or something.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Alien was on there, like literally all of them. So I went through Alien, Aliens, Alien 3. Then I went on to Alien Resurrection, then Prometheus, and then
Mhm.
Alien Covenant.
See, I only recently did this run myself, actually, so I'm kind of keen to hear how
Yeah,
you
and
feel
I
about
completely ignored all the Predator, Alien versus Predator stuff. Because
it. Oh, yeah, don't do
yeah,
that. Those just hurt.
Oh, that's the one I've seen.
I've seen Olivia Munn was in one of them, and it was directed by Shane Black. It was probably the most recent Predator one. It was rubbish. And it did not make me want to go and watch any of
Oh,
them.
you're talking about the straight Predator movies. Yeah, no, I was just saying avoid the
Oh,
Predator
absolutely.
versus
I did, yeah.
Aliens movies. Like they're those
Yeah.
couple are horrible.
Predator 1 and 2 are worth it. from
Yeah,
what I
no,
recall.
Predator 1 and 2 are fine. And then there's like some subsequent ones. I think like Predators happened, and that was okay at best. But
Was
yeah,
that the
it's
latest
just-
one?
Yeah, that's
I
the one
think
with
so.
Olivia Munn.
Yeah, I'd skip that one.
Like and like the Robert Rodriguez one. The Robert Rodriguez one wasn't the worst, but then it was like a weird bout of them trying to make you feel like the Predator might be a cool guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just kind of
So,
weird.
all in all, you know, as it is with a lot of these, the first one stood out as the best.
Yeah. it was.
2 was pretty good. It felt very similar to the first, like they maintained that nice kind of dark atmosphere and tension and things like that. And see, I'm not a big horror fan, but it's not, you know, you might have the occasional jump scare here and there, but so the 1 and 2 was good. 3 and Resurrection were dog shit by comparison.
Resurrection's dog shit by every comparison. I'm sorry. But yeah, Resurrection needed to be taken out the back and
Because
shot. Yeah.
So apparently Sigourney Weaver only came back because they did, like, she was technically, spoiler alert, it's your fault for not ever having seen these films, but
Drag me more, why don't you?
yeah, she was cloned in Resurrection.
Yeah.
And so she
Yeah.
came back on the proviso that stayed in the script because then she could explore she could portray the same character but slightly different, I guess.
Yeah, different personality that you could actually use. Yeah.
So, I didn't mind that aspect of it, but yeah, it's like because I binged it pretty hard over like 2 days, just while I was working. And it all started to feel very same-ish. Like even 1 through 4 just felt like the same. And they obviously were released years apart, but I certainly watching them in succession got this fatigue of like this is just like how unlucky is this chick for starters?
Yeah, you just doing this again. Yeah,
she keeps crashing, and then the alien is somehow there.
Yeah, horror ensues. Yeah.
So yeah, I certainly got a bit fatigued with the storyline, and each movie was different, but only just enough. Like none of them went in any particularly new or exciting places.
No, and I mean they never really do for the most part.
Well, that's why Prometheus and Alien Covenant were a nice departure in that sense, because you got to know more about the Weyland Corp, the origins of the engineers who, the assumption is they created humans, whether they created the black goo or not that gives birth.
The goopy goops everywhere.
Xenomorphs.
Okay, but they do finally towards the end of their movie run start to go in like a different direction and explore different things. But I think that the real question is that worth it? Because for all intents and purposes, I have heard that those movies are not great. And is it really worth going and kind of butchering your beloved franchise just to get a little bit extra information out there that most fans might not even be happy with?
I can't. Yeah.
I will fully admit that while they haven't, and I actually like Covenant and Prometheus. I actually like them, but they could have been any franchise movie. Like you could have called that Space Movie X.
Yeah.
And I'd watch it and go, yeah, it's fine.
Well, they're in the timeline, they're prequels to Alien.
Yeah, they're prequels.
So it's an origin story because there are depictions like statues and things like that in the engineers' base of xenomorphs.
They definitely had, and I feel it's one of those things too, is like when you watch them again, and since I'd already watched them previously, and I went back to watch them again, you do kind of catch things now and then in the scripts for the previous aliens. Not really the first one, more 2, 3 and Resurrection, where they will mention stuff, or there will be like little key bits of information that get dripped out. Not much, but you just kind of go like, oh, this was there was an idea for this before. That's where this was going, that there is this other race that made us and them and fucked around with that and did whatever. So I liked that, but yeah.
So there is an idea going on, but is it all written by the same guy? Is it all a unified vision?
Well, no,
so
there is. Yeah. It's a lot more consistent than freaking Star Wars, put it that way. It makes sense.
That's not a high bar, though.
Not with the latest ones.
But, I mean, I watched, 6 movies, 2 of which you watch at the end, but they're prequels, so following with a bit of a pseudo-Star Wars schedule. And, Prometheus and Alien Covenant can stand alone, like Nick was saying. You don't have to watch Alien or Aliens to understand it. It's much better if you do. So I'm a sucker for... To answer your question, is it worth it? If Ridley Scott's involved, I would say yes, because he created the first one and he brought back the writers.
Yeah, he was the guy.
That he worked with and did the same again on Prometheus and Alien Covenant. And they just happen to be, I think, the best ones, Alien and then Prometheus and Alien Covenant.
Yeah.
And then probably Aliens, which I think was James Cameron.
I know he did some of them, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I if they make more, I'm not going to not watch it. Because I love...
Yeah, that's why I'm sitting with it.
I love the mythos of it. I love explanations. I'm not I'll leave it to the imagination kind of guy. I'm like, I need answer.
No, what are you? Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I am definitely a leave it to the imagination kind of guy, because more often than not, the explanations suck
yeah,
ass compared to what I'm expecting to
See,
to actually be. You know.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. There's a lot
I
of
think-
poor attempts to explain Origins.
I think a few of the things that was because I saw something. There was like one thing that after I watched Covenant that I wasn't really sure of, like what it had meant or where it had gone, and I ended up looking up that, and I think like why I almost immediately stopped was because I immediately saw someone complaining about Prometheus, and it was like, the like, yeah, that what is it, like advanced alien race that's still drinking from cups as if, and I was sitting there like, what do you mean? How is that a major complaint about how bad the film is? That in one scene you see one drinking from a cup. Like I just sat there and I was like,
I haven't heard the cup complaint.
Of all of the parts in that movie to put as your first initial get people's attention complaint,
See,
I can't be asked reading the rest of
the
your
biggest
thing now.
complaint that
Like-
I read was at the beginning of Alien Covenant, or whenever it is, you come to realize or come to learn that David, the Michael Fassbender, the friggin' android,
The
he
android.
released the pathogen on the engineer homeworld. And then people were complaining like, oh, but the engineers, like they created humans, they created life, they probably developed this black goo that gave life to the aliens. Like that's the weapon that they just lost control of. How can he just rock up and kill them? And it's like the whole
Because it
the
was
whole
on
movie's ruined. And
That's
I'm
like
just
turning up.
Just because they have the ability to create life doesn't make them invincible or intelligent even.
No, the problem is that's like saying, how did COVID come over on a plane from somewhere when we should have not had that as a problem?
It's like
It's
like
literally
if you
that. It's literally, it was on there and it was out.
If you could restrict procreation to intelligent life, the world would be a better place. But unfortunately, that's not how it works.
Ah, jeez.
So anyway, there's not video games, although I'm pretty sure there are alien games. But
There certainly are.
Oh, there's plenty, yeah.
the movies, highly recommend them. But I mean, you don't have to watch them now.
Does that mean, Josh, that you want to play Alien Isolation now?
Hell no. It's one thing to sit here and be distracted by my work on kind of half the screen, because then I can. I always have this thing where I pretend to
Work.
I need to convince myself that I'm not scared. So I'm like, I'm choosing this moment to concentrate on work. And that's just a pure coincidence that it happens to be a build-up tension, scary moment in the movie.
Right.
It's my coping mechanism.
See, I just use humor.
Yeah, if it catches me off guard, I tend to scream a lot and Jess gets mad. And
Yeah, it's funny.
Okay.
I still say one of the crowning moments of like our entire streaming like history thus far is your wife just scaring you so hard that I'm pretty sure I could feel you shitting your pants.
Just have popping her head around the corner and then saying your name, and then you really leaped. And the fact that we caught it on camera as well
was amazing.
That was the cherry on top of the icing on the cake.
For it.
If anyone wants to see that, if they go to our YouTube channel and they check out our Outlast playlist, it's in there.
Relive my
It's in
pain.
there.
That's why I have a lock on the door now. I can lock it from this side.
In case you're playing a spooky game.
Yeah, exactly. You just lock it and go, not today, scary ghosts or wife.
But then how are you going to escape?
I can unlock it.
But what if in your stressful terror, you're just scratching at the door? You can't quite get the dexterity in your fingers.
What's the point?
What if you kind of like jimmy up and get the VR version of Alien Isolation running,
No.
which is actually
No.
embedded in the main game, and then
No,
you try to
no.
run out of your room, but you're locked in there.
No, it'll never happen. Horror games in VR is over the line, unnecessary.
You know what? I do agree with that. I can't do it.
Again, it's like chili. It's like hot food. You can get food that tastes great that won't try to kill your insides what's the point? It's like games. You can play games that don't try to make you shit yourself. So why would you play the ones that do?
Resident Evil 7 had VR. Fuck that.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it was only for the PlayStation, so it was it was low resolution too. It's double scary.
Silent Hill was, I think, where my hatred for these kinds of games started.
Oh,
Really
man,
interesting.
Silent Hill is like, depending on which one you play too, like general, even the ones that are considered not particularly good, they generally all do really good atmosphere though. So I get that.
It was one of the maybe the original. It was on PS1.
Yeah,
I don't know how
that'd be
long
one.
it's been. Yeah, and I actually think it was a demo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And young
See,
me
I think
just
you could
pieced right out of that.
I think in the demo you could go to the school, and I think you could do some of the school. So yeah, there's some horrendous shit in there.
You know what's great about those Silent Hill games though is
What's that?
that they are spoopy and they are scary, but they aren't jump scare scary. Like it's real
yeah.
horror in that it builds up an atmosphere and a terrifying place for you to be in, but it doesn't try to cheapen itself by going like, "Kaboo!" And you're like, "Meh."
So is that a thing? Because a mutual friend of ours likes horror movies, and he's always claimed to be a purist because, in that he likes only like.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm going to stop you right here and preface with whatever you're saying. Is anyone that goes, no, but I'm a purist because I only watch certain kinds of them, it irks me a bit. So now you can keep going. Yep.
So he only watches like Japanese or whatever horror.
Oh my god!
Because anything that's been Americanized.
What do you mean? No, but
has been
you
made
watch,
into just a
watch
jump
the
scare.
Ring. Half of the scare factor is that the chick suddenly throws her face at you in a frame.
I don't have any skin in the game, and I'm never intending on it.
All right. Yep. No, I'm just going to stop.
You know,
I'm
you're
gonna
having
listen.
the argument with the wrong person here, Nick.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll chill. I'll sit back. Continue your story, Josh.
Oh, that's basically it. I just wondered if you guys agreed. Nick's made it pretty obvious that that's not the case, but
No, it's they can be used they can be used properly. But
they do
there
seem
is-
to go for the creepy factor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
jump
in more
scares are
Asian
not
production.
an exclusively Western invention.
No,
However, you do find a lot of international horror movies will use other ways of conveying a terrible thing. Whereas I think a lot of Western movies want to get your adrenaline going.
Yeah, like a lot of Western movies, especially Hollywood-centric movies, will be like, we need to keep everything going all the time. Let's go now, go. And that's a really easy way to do it. Whereas a lot of other people that make movies tend to understand that they can be a bit more of a slow burn, like pull you into it and then mess with you. And that's actually, in most cases, more effective because you're already kind of in there and then suddenly you have it come over you.
Yeah, I much prefer that. In fact, to a testament to the creepiness that the Japanese in particular can achieve, and I've mentioned this before, is Battle Royale. It's not even a horror.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that's probably stuck with me more than any movie ever.
Well,
and I've seen parts of a Serbian film.
See, I don't know. My like scary, most like brain-bendingly relentless like movie that I go, ugh, is still Watership Down. So I don't know if any of you have seen that.
It's got rabbits.
I went looking for that after you mentioned it last time.
Oh, did I? Yeah. No, those rabbits and those animations, and it's awful. But yeah, no, it's just that thing though, where like Watership Down and the parts in that no one likes is entirely built around like atmosphere and style.
It's really claustrophobic, and also rabbits fucking tear into each other, and you're not expecting these cute guys to suddenly get super violent and bloody, and because it comes at you with the guise of it looks like a happy children's show about rabbits.
Yeah,
it is not.
But then there is that follow through of like, if we look at the Japanese ones, like The Grudge, like that does a really good mix of popping in jump scares and popping in like things that creep in on you.
Yeah.
And so that used jump scares really effectively. Like it just did it really well.
Which Watership Down? There's a 2018 one with James McAvoy.
No, older
one.
Yeah, the older one. Yeah.
John Hurt.
Yeah. Good old John Hurt is there for every horror, like every movie that's terrifying.
He's there to make you hurt.
Well, he's not alive now, so but
He
anyway.
made you hurt.
He made everyone hurt enough, and then he disappeared into the ether. But
Oh,
yes, I mean,
Yes.
yeah, the Grudge is there, and that does it really well. I found a lot of there's some stuff. I think it's called The Ritual. It's on Netflix, and that was an American film, I think. But that was like, for me, when I was watching it, like a really good return to, people can still make good horror movies. Because like my gold standard is still The Shining. Like that is my favorite movie, like horror movie of all times thus far. Like I've never seen anything that's really
Jack Nicholson rocked
top
that
of that
role.
over. Yeah. And that to me is just one of the best horror movies I've ever seen. But then, yeah, I'll watch something now, and I'm kind of reticent to watch newer horror movies because I'm like so ready for them to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I watched The Ritual. That was really good. And I don't think I've really found another one new since that hit Netflix that really caught me.
Nick, you should follow Jay Bauman from Red Letter Media, because he loves good horror, and he will recommend anything he finds, because he's like on a constant 24/7 binge of anything horror.
Just horror binge forever.
So, yeah, if you're looking for stuff.
I'm very curious. Dave, what do you find scary?
The concept of interacting with people.
I was waiting for him to just say something.
I mean, you're in the wrong place.
Flailing inflatable arm tube man out the front of tire store or something.
What do I find scary?
I can't see you going as far as
I
visual
don't
media.
like horror.
yeah.
I don't watch horror movies. Basically, it's just not something
See,
I watch.
I think that's a safe, good
I
policy.
watch like Shaun of the Dead because it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah,
And the
that's a good
horror
one.
is not, and the horror is not horror. Like it is.
No.
Like there's some gore.
It's comedic.
Yeah. I don't mind a thriller.
Yeah,
Like
that's fair. They're different.
Kiss the Girls, Along Came a Spider, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not into horror.
Jess and I watch a good thriller. If we like that, if we have a date night, it's usually we want to watch a thriller, like a whodunit or you know what's happening kind of thing.
Like Orphan. Like is the little girl really a 50-year-old Russian assassin? Yeah.
I watched there's an anthology. I don't know if it's technically it's the same guys doing them anyway. The Haunting of Manor Hill, I think it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the follow-up one with the vampires on the island.
Haunting of Bly.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
yeah. That's what is that?
You watch The Lighthouse?
No. I've
Apparently
been
it's-
meaning to actually.
Apparently,
yeah.
it's good acting.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's Willem Dafoe. It's going to be great.
And Robert Pattinson, underrated, I must say. But
I agree with
I
you.
hope so. I've only seen him in like the Twilight Saga and then Water for Elephants, and Water for Elephants was garbage. So, and I don't think even he
Well,
was particularly good at it. So
he's our new Batman. So let's hope.
that's yeah.
Apparently, he got told off because in the first week of filming, he was taking, I guess, a look at previous iterations of like Christian Bale and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
he put on a gravelly, tried to put on a gravelly, deepy voice.
Oh right.
And I'm one of those people that maintains that even Christian Bale sounded ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
dumb voice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can only imagine like
Don't do that. Please fucking don't do that.
a little
Yeah.
scrawny Robert Pattinson trying to do
Yeah.
like anyway, they sat him down and said, "Look,
Just
we need to
don't.
talk about the voice.
Yeah.
Don't do it."
Please don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, if you guys want to see a
though.
good, if you want to see a good thriller, watch Barry. It's a HBO series about a hitman who comes to LA and falls in love with the idea of becoming an actor.
It's got that comedian in it.
Yeah, he's fantastic in it. I can't remember his name.
He's been in he's one of those that's part of friggin' Bill Hader.
Yeah, Bill Hader. That's right.
Bill
Yeah.
Hader, yeah.
No, he
Well,
does.
Yeah,
great in
apparently
it.
they're bringing a season 3 out. I saw everyone was excited because it's been a few years.
Well, it got delayed because of COVID. So they were ready to shoot season 3. Then the pandemic happened, and apparently they're shooting season 3, or they've shot it, and it's coming out in a couple of weeks or some shit like that. I can't remember.
Oh, nice.
I was looking at it the other day, and they have a season 4 written and ready to film. So hopefully it gets renewed for it. I don't see why it wouldn't. That thing wins a fuck ton of awards.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, we can't finish before we finish talking about movies and TV shows. Lord of the Rings trailer came out. Amazon spent big on Lord of the Rings. So I think they paid I think so. The show had a budget of nearly 750 million,
Mm-hmm.
and then they paid 250 million just for the rights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for the rights of the wrong
So the
thing.
whole thing was $1 billion kind of dollar.
Mm.
And the first thing that got me worried was before the trailer even came out, before I think they even went into production, Jeff Bezos himself came out and said, I want Amazon to have the next Game of Thrones. Then he bought the Lord of the Rings rights, and I thought, this is not going to end well.
No.
So then I watched the trailer, and I mean, it looks bad. It doesn't look like a $500 million production.
No.
I'm not a purist in any sense, but you don't have to look far to see people point out really obvious. Like if you are if you're even a little bit familiar with that world, the trailer revealed that they've just deviated so much. Something about a dwarf queen not having a beard.
Yeah.
So real quick,
That
before
got
we
people upset.
accidentally spiral into having an entire podcast talking about movies and Lord of the Rings, I do want to throw out that they bought the rights to the Lord of the Rings trilogy and The Hobbit. They do not have the rights to the Silmarillion or the unpublished stuff.
The unfinished tales.
Yeah, they don't have the rights to any of that. So everything that they are doing in this Lord of the Rings series is kind of passed from what they can kind of get out of the Lord of the Rings trilogy that hasn't been covered already, and the rest is just fan fiction.
It's fan fiction. Like 9/10 of it, from what I've gathered, is just going to be people going, I'd like this though. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
gonna be awful.
I'm a fan of the original movies. Love them. Great
Yep.
adventure, high fantasy films.
That's why they can never do them again either.
So I am not I like the films. I could not really give a toss about the Hobbit films. But yeah, I do feel sorry for the likes of Nick and people that actually have a much more
People that
deep-seated
care.
love for this whole universe, because
it's just going to be
Doesn't look
bad,
good.
man.
Well,
It's just
look,
not
I
good.
mean,
look good.
the solution's pretty simple. Don't watch it.
Spend more
Don't
money.
do it. Yeah, we don't watch it. They shouldn't do it. They just don't bother. They shouldn't have touched
Yeah,
it.
just
Should have
like-
left it alone.
Yeah,
Call it a day.
they've shit themselves. Just step away.
You can't.
Don't go rifling through and go like, what did you shit yourself with? Just leave the room.
After the perfection that was the extended trilogy, like it would take a miracle to live up to that standard.
Yeah.
Like surely someone there has thought, why are we setting ourselves up for failure? Why are we doing this?
Because Bozos wants it.
Yeah. What's
Simple
the next
as-
Game of Thrones? Which
Sim-
in and of itself is a horrible statement to make.
I feel like what Jeff
Especially now
Bezos
after the
needs to
last
do.
episode.
Oh, God, yeah, especially after the last season. But I feel like what Jeff Bezos needs to do is grow some hair so that every fucking idea he has doesn't fall out of the pores on the top of his head.
When you
That'd
got
be
that
nice.
much money,
That'd be
you
good.
can blow like a lot of money, dollars on making on a transplant, but you can also
Yeah, I
blow
thought
it
you
on
were gonna
just
say get some hair.
find the rights to Lord of the Rings. You know, it doesn't matter to him, and so it shouldn't matter to us. Just he made it, whatever. It's just his own personal little project. Don't watch it. Don't worry about it. Ignore it. It's not real.
Prime, they also did, they recently just finished their Wheel of Time run of season 1, which is based on
A book.
Wheel of Time.
Yes.
But it's like a 24 book or something stupid. Steven, friend of ours, explained it to me because he's read it all. And it's like there's something stupid like there's like 50 to 60 named characters over 24 books. There were enough notes written by the original author that when he died, another author could step in and, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Like it was so fleshed out. There were so many notes.
Right.
So again, I watched it having never read the books. It just looked like really B-grade high fantasy with some big names attached. It just nothing that they are pumping out in that genre is giving me any hope that they'll treat Lord of the Rings the right
No,
way.
they won't. Yeah, no, they
So,
won't. So, all right, let's we've spent a lot of time talking about things that are horrific, like whether it be the genre of movies or whether it be what people are doing to beloved franchises. But now let's talk about something else that's horrific. What have we been playing this week, Josh?
Video games.
I've been playing Lost Ark, and I don't know why you think it was horrific, Nick, but I love it. I don't pretend to understand anything that's happening.
See, this is Josh going through the stages of grief that we're watching right now.
He's in denial now, isn't he?
All right, I'll give you this, Josh. We'll talk
We have
about
to talk
Lost
about-
Ark for a couple
Yeah, we
minutes.
have to
Let's
talk
go.
about Lost Ark.
Let's get on
So-
the Lost Ark, yeah.
I really like everything about the game. I could care less about the story. I skip everything. There's a lot of systems now that it's throwing at me around level 31, 32. You've got your stronghold, cool idea. Just need to get my head around it a bit more.
Yeah.
There's like engravings, no idea how they work. Ability
I
stones,
don't know those either,
don't know
yeah.
how they work. You know, even the foraging and mining system took me a little bit to kind of understand, like, what's this green bar and how do I kill that rabbit? And
You got to throw a spear at it.
you do, but no, I'm slowly getting it. I can see a lot of Googling in my future because it's one of those rare things where I don't understand half the systems you're introducing me to, but I want to know.
Yeah.
I want
My
to learn
problem
them.
with the systems is that I really do not have any patience for any of the dialogue in this game. So even when they're explaining mission critical items like how to engrave and how to hunt and stuff, I go like, skip, fuck it, skip.
Oh,
And then
as
I'm just
someone
hitting
that's
buttons
listened
hoping.
to it, I can tell you there's no point. You're
Okay.
doing the right thing.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but they even try and throw you a little quiz.
No,
And they're like,
Oh, yeah.
so
You know
can
what?
you
They
tell
do-
me now, what
Yeah.
does this do? And you're like, this one. Ha ha ha, try again. Okay, this other one.
I just I guessed randomly and they went correct, and I said good.
But I'm still really enjoying that game.
No, it is. I mean, I spent most of my morning today just kicking around on it. Even just by
Yeah.
myself, I can just sit there and play it, which is good. Like I was worried that it was going to be the kind of game that I was just not going to play if I didn't have other people hanging out. But no, I can just sit there for a couple of hours, just kick on it, lose time like you do when you're in a good game. It's just it's fun.
It's a very it's a low impact kind of game. I find it is something that you can just kind of hop into and do whatever. You don't even necessarily need to do missions and things. Once you unlock your stronghold, there's all kinds of different things that you can put resources and time towards.
Yeah.
and just kind of
foraging and hunting.
and like just go like, I want to build a really nice yard sale out the front of my stronghold. So I'm going to go out, I'm going to forage, I'm going to cut down trees, go back to my stronghold, then go to my crafting place, and I'm going to build a slum. And I'll put that slum outside the front of my house. And then I can also take characters that I've already rolled and make them be NPCs to populate my slums. So that's fun.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
You
just
can-
other
and
characters
you
that
can
you've
send-
made, or
Yeah. So like
All
just
right.
so say you've got like Norket. Say
Yeah.
you wanted to roll a warrior and called him Norketo.
yeah,
And you can have Norketo just standing out in front of your stronghold.
yeah,
He
okay,
doesn't do anything. He's just there.
just standing there. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of names,
Oh no.
I was seeing on Reddit, there's a few people very upset with Amazon or Smilegate.
Smilegate.
They don't know who to blame yet, but
Right.
they're getting temporarily
They'll work
banned.
it out. Yeah.
They're saying you've been banned for 24 hours, and when you do log back in, you need to change your name. It goes against
Right.
terms and conditions.
Sure.
The names, and they're angry because the names, like the most upvoted one was the guy who just named his character Bloody,
Oh.
which is a literal title that you can apparently append yourself in the
Yeah,
game.
I was going to say you can actually
Um,
give yourself that as a title.
You know
I'm
what's
pretty sure it's
happened here,
unlocked.
right? They have gone, what are swear words for every country, and just whacked it into a filter. And bloody counts as a swear word.
Well, there were a few others that were a bit suspect as well. So I am kind of here on the sidelines. One, waiting for Tinker Tonka Tits
Yes.
to be banned for a little bit, and two, for our guild to
Yeah.
maybe require a rename.
Yeah, that's actually what I was more thinking was, is our guild apparently going to need a rename? Because we ended up being NCD's Nuts.
Yeah,
I think that NCD's Nuts and Tinker Tonka Tits is probably going to get by because
I hope so.
it's swear words that are buried within just alphabet soup.
Yeah, piles
Yeah.
of other letters.
Regular words.
Yeah. But poor Bloody, he's fucked.
Yeah, I mean, you can't
Big
have
fuck's
adults
bloody.
seeing the word bloody on someone's character name. That's a bit too
My
far.
biggest complaint with the game is not having an extra capital letter.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes,
to your
yes.
character name.
I
Absolutely.
forgot
The
about
second
that.
word. It's like, I want a capital. But
Yeah, not only for my own name, but for our guild, it's capital N, lowercase c, lowercase d,
Yeah, I don't know
And
what's
then
up with that.
lowercase e's nuts. Yeah.
which makes NCD's nuts look like,
Alphabet soup.
well, yeah, like you,
City's
like you
nuts.
try and, yeah, it's, I don't know, it's like someone trying to make a custom number plate and you don't have enough letters.
Yeah, it just doesn't
No.
quite work how we're hoping.
Yeah, so, but the game itself is still fun. It's still grabbing me. I've just checked. I'm 22.7 hours in.
Yeah.
Nick's right behind me on 22.4.
Nice.
Jamie's 19.5 and Dave is 4.5.
Dave.
Look at this guy with his life.
Cruising
another game.
ahead.
I've been playing a lot of SnowRunner instead.
True. Yeah, you have been enjoying that.
I'm
Driving my
keen to
trucks.
play that. I'm keen to check that out. It seems relaxing.
Until you get stuck.
All right, guys.
like-
And then
Enough.
you can just recover to garage, but it's the more fun is trying to get yourself out.
Yeah,
with
you'd have
other
to get
vehicles.
yourself out. Like that'd be a rule.
Yeah.
Surely.
I think we've been dodging the issue enough. Nick, Josh, what have you been playing?
That's true because hold on. The issue is Dave jumped online and he went
you're
into
deflecting now, Josh.
SnowRunner and he didn't even message me to say, "Hey, let's play LOL." What's up with that, Dave? I should be your first port of call when you log onto your computer to play
Wow.
a
SnowRunner.
game.
Wow. How like on the Klinger chart, how high do we think that is, guys?
Oh, that's like an 8.
Don't worry, I told Dave. I told him.
Oh, 9.
You did. Ironically, I did offer to play a game, and he was doing something else.
Yeah, I was like, no, it's too late now.
I'm just here to complain.
I'm just here to win.
Guys, I'm keeping an eye on the clock, though. You really should fess up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What have
What
you been
to?
doing? What have you been doing?
Well, I haven't spent any money on.
We played Fortnite, Josh. Just stop
Oh.
doing it. Just stop. We need
You
to get
could-
this.
we
It's
had-
like ripping a
we had
band-aid
10 mi-
off.
We had
We-
10 minutes left, Nick. We could have made it over the line.
I felt like I needed to get this out and done so that it wasn't hanging over my head
It's
any
a
longer.
guilty conscience.
Yeah,
you can sleep
just-
tonight.
I don't want anyone to be left guessing. I want it out there. I want it done. I want it said, and I don't want it to have to come back and bite
Nick
me
kills
later.
a man, goes out to dinner, not affected. Plays Fortnite, cries himself to sleep.
That's it. That's how it
I,
works.
I like how you've insinuated that Nick has, in fact, killed a man.
Killed a
Oh,
man.
we know if anyone's going to have killed someone, it's Nick.
Well, I mean, my job here is done.
Yeah, you have the weapons.
But
You have the attitude.
I have enough knives.
I do have plenty. But me and Josh were looking for something to play with our kids in tow. To like kick on it. And Fortnite, let's face it, everyone knows about Fortnite at this point. It's massive. It's everywhere. Even if your kid isn't playing video games, they're going to know what Fortnite is, whether it's just from someone else at school or just YouTube ads or just something, right? Fortnite is just there. It exists. You
Well, I think I
can't
mentioned that
avoid it.
Eli and I have been playing it.
You have
A little
mentioned
bit.
that, yes.
And
Yeah. His idea, not mine.
so I kind of went, well, okay, it's cross-platform. I'll install it on my Xbox and I'll just set Amelia up with it. And that's fine. And my kid up with it. And I did that. And I mentioned to Josh, yeah, I've got it going. I'll chuck it on there. When I get it going, I'll let you know Amelia's like epic like display name thing and so that you guys can play together. And then Josh is like, oh, we can play in squads of 4. Maybe you should install it on your PC too, so we can all
Well, no, okay, so it was like Eli, it's a classic shy kid thing. He wanted to play games with Amelia, but didn't feel comfortable being like left alone. like virtually, even if it's virtually. So
Yeah.
it's like, but can't you play with me? Like we play it together, and I'm like, I'm only going to play if Nick plays. I can't do this by myself.
Wow. Wow, that was how that got there. Right.
Yeah. So then I message Nick, and I'm like, do we play with them?
See, I know the thing is that I was looking at it, and the way you kind of said it to me was that you weren't sure if we could play 4-man squads. But then about 30 seconds later, he went, no, I checked, we can play 4-man squads. I was like, he had that in the barrel.
Oh, yeah. I
was
ready with that shit.
Ready
Yeah.
to go. He knew where he was going to go with that one.
There are some game modes where you can play with up to like a party of 16.
Yeah.
So, you know, Dave and Jamie. And
Yeah, I'll bring my kids along.
Yeah, do it. Give your cat a control pad, and we'll see where this goes.
Yeah, you watch. Sterling will win.
Kids are busy playing Forza Horizon 4.
Yeah, but so I go, yeah, okay. In the end, I install it on my PC as well. I sit down, we get all set up. I make sure that the kids' account on the Xbox understands it's allowed to play Fortnite multiplayer, which is incredibly stressful, but understandably so. You've got to have a parent saying yes, no, la da da. Then we get in there, and like I've still got my old character from when I played a little bit of the PvE stuff. Well, I played a lot of the PvE stuff and a little bit of the Battle Royale stuff for some reason. I think I had a couple other people that were playing it. And so, I've loaded in. I'm surprised with the fact that I'm wearing this like pink teddy bodysuit, like furry suit thing with a
Dude,
big
you weren't
bobble
the only one
head.
that was surprised.
And that like really threw me off. So I was like, oh yeah, I've got that. That's the thing. And I went out of my way. And one of the reasons why I actually don't mind the cosmetics in that game is because you can earn those V-Buck point things by playing the PvE version.
Yeah.
You can just do challenges in that, you get it. And that's how I've done anything that looks like I might have bought in that game. It's because I picked it up by playing the PvE and having fun and then going to the store with the stuff that I got for free from that.
You know what really pissed me off about Fortnite? Back
What's
in the
that?
day, when they first started bringing out all these interesting skins and shit like that with their battle pass, and back before they had Save the World tucked away in a sub-menu,
Yeah.
you can unlock stuff and Save the World, but it didn't cross over to the Battle Royale and vice versa. So if you got
you
the
had
John
to-
Wick skin, you
yeah.
couldn't just use it and Save the World. It pissed me off so much.
Yeah, you had to get the V-Bucks in PvE, then go to the Battle Royale and buy them there if you wanted to use them there. Or, obviously the other way around. Yeah.
And of course, the Save the World stuff actually cost money. So
Yeah.
that's why you could earn V-Bucks within that game mode, because
Yeah.
they had to kind of like...
You had to actually
They were quickly going,
buy
the
that
value
mode.
proposition on Save the World is lessening by the day.
Yeah. So yeah, we log in. I'm this pink teddy bear with like a pickaxe and stuff like that. I will give them this, that they've made it easier to get levels in it for the battle pass thing, and there is some free stuff there, which is good. But I saw Josh log in, and Josh has a League of Legends skin.
Of course
in
he does.
Fortnite. Now
I was so scared. Honestly, it gave me a little bit of a flashback to when you've done something wrong.
yeah.
And there's no hiding it from your parents. So you want to get in early and tell them. I felt so uncomfortable.
That was because that was the first thing I said when I saw you. I was like, Josh, why do you have a League of Legends skin?
I was impressed that you knew who it was. That you
I
even
can't
knew, 'cause it's Jinx
remember
from
the
League of
name.
Legends.
It's
I don't know
Jinx.
the. Yeah,
It's easily Jinx.
I just looked at it, and went, that's a League of Legends thing. And he bought that.
It's a whole bundle. I've got a loading
Oh,
screen.
Jeez.
Wait, you've got a
dance,
loading screen?
backpack. Yeah.
Yeah, you
They
can
sell
unlock
loading
cosmetics for your
screens?
loading screen. I've got one. It's like a big teddy bear mech that's punching something, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, you customize your loading screen.
But no, I mean, I think
But
like
we've
the
played
thing
5 matches
threw
together
me
as a
more,
group.
yeah. The thing that threw me more was that even with the children in tow, we consistently won every match in a row that we played.
We won 4 out of 5 battle royale.
Wow.
100 people, so that's 25 squads.
How many did you kill?
I got a fair few.
Nick-
I got
Nick
way
and I-
more than I thought.
Yeah, between us, I reckon we've taken out 10 to 15 on average.
Oh.
Yeah,
if we
per
land in
game,
a
I
busy
think.
area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every time I think I'm landing us in somewhere that's a bit further, it's out of the way. It's like everyone has the same idea. We're landing, we're coming down, and I'm like, oh,
Look
there's
at all
so
those
many
other
people
ones.
around.
Yeah.
But we, so the start, you got shit weapons or no weapon. It's a bit
We got
scrappy.
none. You got the, yeah.
We had to pick up Eli a couple of times. I think is the closest we've come to. No, when the very first game, Amelia straight up died,
Yeah.
but you went and like
Went
there's
and grabbed a
resurrection
rebooty
bus.
thing and used it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that is to date the only hard death
Yeah. Yeah.
until my game
Man.
has been crashing.
Mm.
It crashed twice so the second to last game it crashed, but there was not
We
many
were
people
well
left.
ahead.
You
There
guys
wasn't
went on
many
to win.
left. Yeah, I just flare gunned some people to death. Yeah, we were good.
Then the last game, I'm like, okay, I can't be bothered. There's like 50 people left. You guys, I just went into Eli's room and watched. Couldn't do it without me. Came fourth. The streak ended.
Yeah. So we got really close, like with how small the circle was that we were allowed to sit in, and the problem I think was that at that point, Amelia, my 9-year-old daughter, had decided that she was taking turns with my 6-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was actually on there at the time, and he was very,
He
very
has
busy.
an amazing tactic, by the way.
Which
I think
one?
I was telling Dave and Jamie last night, I'm like, he's just giggling. And like we're trying to, even I kind of get Eli in line, and I'm like, you got to follow us, you got to do this, you got to do that, like fight to survive. And then you hear this loud boom, and I'm like, go outside, and like, I don't know if we're saying names, whatever.
Yeah.
I've already said Amelia and Eli.
Yeah. Logan is giggling, and he somehow managed, with no ramp in sight, to get his car on like the third story of a building. It's on fire. He's rolling around dying. And it was just comical. It's like, what is that? You walk out and you're ready to get into a firefight, but
It's
he's
just a car.
GTAing
It's
it.
yeah. Well, that was during
Wrong
that
game.
last game
Wrong
where
game.
we ended up losing. I was literally in the moment that I died. What had happened was the giant weird axolotl thing that walks through. I was like, well, okay, we're avoiding that, and I'm heading to the middle of the circle. And I even said it. I'm like, yeah, we need to ignore that. Make sure we stay in the circle. Now, for some reason, Eli had started shooting it. Right,
Classic
Logan
Eli.
had driven his truck into it that he'd found. There was a bunch of explosions. I've just said, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm just running the circle because it's just closing in. We're all screwed anyway if we stay out here. I'm running to the circle where it's getting real small, and there's like 6 other people like just converging inside.
Getting small in here.
And so in the meantime, I'm like, you need to come here. There's too many people. I'm getting shot. My shield is gone. You need to get neither of them are listening.
It's like herding cats. It's like herding cats. It really is.
Logan blew up his car and at one point actually grabbed my shoulder to make sure that I could see that he was observing me from the dead. And I'm like, yes, I know you are, Logan. Eli, I don't even know what happened to Eli. I think he might have been stuck outside the circle. I'm really not sure. But either way, I was just
chaos.
needing assistance, and I think I killed like 4 of these guys. But
Wow.
it just eventually got to me and they dropped me. And I was like, I sat back and I genuinely went, Josh's game hadn't crashed. Or
Dude,
either
honestly-
of those two listened and turned up, we would have been fine.
There's 2 things to learn here before we finish up. One, it was around the end of the second or third game that Nick, there was just a slight change in tone in his voice when I said, do you want to go another one? And it was that I'm only here because, these are the things we do for our kids to I'm enjoying this. I want to play another game.
It's because
It was subtle, but it was
So
there.
what you guys are telling
apparently
me,
I'm a murderer.
what you guys are telling me is that if I played Fortnite with you, you would carry me and I could unlock Spider-Man.
Because the second
Listen
surprise
to this.
is that it turns out we are cracked at Fortnite. We just dominate. Like, it's... I don't know. I'm scared to. I'm scared to maybe find out that we were against bots the whole time because everyone else is so bad. We're the best. It's easy.
That was my consistent issue was, and I think I said it a couple times, but I was just going, how am I not dead? Because I'm not great at this. I didn't think anyway. I thought I was just miserable at it. That's why I stopped playing it the previous time I ever tried it. But I am walking over just swathes of these people now.
Well, I'm very excited for us to
how?
be
How does this
complete
work?
hypocrites and turn into Fortnite streamers.
Just
I was
start
about to
being
say,
Fortnite
how has
streamers.
this happened? We've done a full 180 on just
Well, we haven't
shitting
done
on
it yet.
Fortnite.
Let's just calm down for the second. We
Whatever,
haven't
Nick.
gone all the
I know you're
way
wearing a
yet.
Fortnite shirt.
You got all the merch now.
I can see it.
I went and
I
picked it
spent
all up
money
this
on the
morning.
game. I'm already doomed.
Yeah, you spent money on that skin and everything there, so
Yeah.
that's already in there. See, I'm actually because I've got like nearly 2,000 like V-Buck point things that I earned in the PvE, just still sitting there in my account. I've been sitting there. I'm like, I should find
Look,
a
you
skin.
were the same, weren't you, Jamie?
Yeah, because funnily enough, I was like, I can see which way the wind is blowing here. So I downloaded the game last night just to have it on my machine in
Did you?
case. I did.
Wow.
I
That's
booted
good
it up.
thinking, James.
I
Yeah.
did.
Hint,
Booted
hint,
it up.
Dave.
And the game went, hey, so because you bought loot boxes for Save the World back in the day, and
Yeah.
we've discontinued loot boxes back in the day, here's a bunch of V-Bucks that I guess we owe you. I'm like, oh shit, I'm flush.
Oh,
So
nice.
I'm looking, and I'm like, wait, there's Spider-Man shit going on at the moment. So I'm
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
Eyes only for Spider-Man.
I'm looking to get some Spider-Man stuff while it's here if we're gonna play it.
Well, Eli, for the last 72 hours since we started playing with like Nick and Amelia, is just constantly. I'll walk in the door and he'll be like,
Fortnite, father.
you want to play Fortnite? When are we playing Fortnite? Can you message Nick? I'm like, there's going to come a time where you can just like jump on Kids Messenger, message Amelia, and then
Yeah.
like just cut the middleman out.
Yeah, but you're part
See,
of this crew, Josh.
Oh,
Yeah,
see, I copped that as well. Like I got home from work. There's like I walk in, and I got home like a little bit before my kids both days. And so
Yeah.
I would come in, I sit down. I'm just sitting there. I think I was playing Sea of Thieves. So I was like, there's like only a couple of weeks left of the pasting for that. I'll get that done. I'll knock that out. And I sat here and I'm kind of just, peacefully playing some of that. And I hear the car pull in and the kids come in and Amelia walks in and says, "Can we play Fortnite tonight?" I've been, not right
Well,
now. Kid,
like,
come on.
say what you will. That's a nice little, father-child bonding thing that you can do with it. It's great that the game facilitates just spending time with your kids like that, teaching them about gunfire. It's nice.
Oh man, you should have heard me explaining to their mother what I was going to let them do, because she's not a video game person, so she doesn't really know anything about it. And she said, "Fortnite, what is Fortnite? And I said, look, she's gonna hang out with me. It's like a big battle royale. There's like a big map. There's like 100 people that go in it. You go and find some weapons. You kill everyone else, and you win." And I said that out loud, and then I stopped as I said it. I was like, "Fuck!" I just heard how that sounded as it was coming out of my mouth.
Did you follow that with like, it's cartoony?
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, "It's okay. It's like cartoony and stuff. There's nothing anywhere. It's fine."
There's no
When
blood.
Amelia got her first kill, and Eli goes, "Oh, that's awesome! Well, like, congratulations, you've killed your first person."
Yeah.
Killed your first man, Amelia.
Only
Don't-
3 more,
don't
and you'll be a serial
talk
killer.
like that around your mum. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, so no, that was an interesting thing to realize that I was saying out loud. But yeah, I'm looking at it and I'm like, look, if nothing else, this is a gateway drug to more video games later. So
Yeah.
It is, yeah. And as much as I started fatherhood hoping that I could introduce my kids by getting them to play games that I grew up and stuff with like that, it's just not tenable. It's not
Not now. Yeah, no, not now.
Time marches
There's something
on.
like Fortnite,
Yeah.
their marketing, the way that they've penetrated popular culture, it's impossible, as you say, to not be familiar with it unless you're Teresa, apparently. But
when my daughter saw, because I've got like the little giddy up dance that I got at some point somehow, and because this is the thing, like I know that other than buying PvE when it first came out, because that launched before Battle Royale.
Yeah, it did.
I bought that way back when it first came out and played that and like that. And I know that that is the only money that I have ever given them for Fortnite, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't, if like I say I've got anything at this point, you can genuinely assume that I don't remember how or when I got it.
There was a time, Nick, where you were playing Fortnite with the Stooges. I remember it. It was the year after I came back from Canada.
Yep.
And it was just
what you
before I
guys are
moved back
trying
to
to
Melbourne.
say is you spent money on Fortnite long before I ever did.
No, what I'm trying to say is I spent money on
Well,
PvE
yes, I am. Yes, I'm saying
to
that.
buy it.
Yeah, it's still
And
Fortnite,
then-
Nick. Don't dance around it.
But back then, it wasn't whatever this is. So
It's Fortnite, Nick.
You know what? I'm going
to
to say
maintain.
my sin is greater because I didn't buy battle passes. I bought loot boxes.
Oh, you did, didn't you? Yeah.
Mhm.
Straight from the beaches of Normandy.
Oh man.
Call of Duty reference to anyone who's suddenly offended.
You mentioned Normandy.
You
I'm
mentioned
so
Normandy. I
mad.
can't believe it.
Well, all right,
no,
guys.
but yeah. So we like that's the crux of this is that we, I guess, are just beating up children in Fortnite a little bit lately.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, cool. I want to get a Spider-Man skin, so
I hope you sleep better tonight, Nick, now that that's out there.
I will. Now it's out there. Everyone knows it's done. It's clean slate. It's sorted.
all right. Well, I guess we've hit our time, so I'm glad that we could get that out, and now everyone is absolved or feels more guilty than before, whichever. It's
Now we
fine.
have to go away and process it. All this new
You
information.
should take
All right.
a moment. Yeah.
Until next time, you may not recognize us after this podcast, but I am Jamie.
I've been Nick.
I've been Josh.
I'm still Dave.
Thank you for listening, and good night.
We didn't even talk about what games we're playing.
Oh,
We
shit.
know that Dave was
Yes,
playing
you did.
SnowRunner.
Yeah, I played Sifu.
You guys played Fortnite.
Yeah, it's true. You were playing Fortnite. You want to play Fortnite?